Welcome to the review of Manitoba Child Care Association's Best Choices, The Ethical Journey, Part 1. Hello, I'm Michelle Grant, a member of the Ethics Committee and an Ethics Guide. This review is not intended to replace the four-part series that is offered in a workshop format. It is meant to provide a short examination of the workshop to help you in your ongoing reflection and professional development. If you haven't participated in the workshops but are curious about the journey people have been talking about, this will be an introduction for you. Following this short summary, I would encourage you to register for a Part 1 workshop. If you previously took Part 1, but there has been a considerable amount of time that has passed, this will be a refresher for you before you continue on to Part 2. The goals for Session 1 were to help you understand and identify beliefs, values, and ethics. During the workshop, you had the opportunity to identify what your beliefs were, what and why they were important to you, and how you demonstrate those rules or ethics in your daily life. We also examined how your beliefs, values, and ethics might differ from someone else's, and why it's important to recognize and respect those differences. Do you remember the Abigail story with the cast of characters? You rated each one of them according to your own interpretation of their actions, then worked in a group to reach consensus on the rating of the characters. Who could forget Pat, the riverboat captain, or Slug, the old friend? Remember the assumptions that were made about Abigail's decision to accept the ride across the river, Leslie's shocking reaction? Who thought Morgan should have shared an opinion and offered to help? Do you think Pat was taking advantage of Abigail, or was she making her own choices based on the feelings of true love and her concern for Leslie? How did the assumptions influence the rating you gave each character? Would more information have changed how you viewed the situation? And how do we decide who is most or least offensive? On the continuum of offensiveness, one character's actions may seem very offensive to you, but when you compare them to the actions of the others and are forced to rank them, they might not seem as despicable as they first were. There were many conflicting values that were identified. What was important to you? Honesty versus fidelity, integrity versus fairness, love versus respect? What is your meaning of friendship? What do you feel about a person's right to earn an income? What about loyalty or your duty to stand up for someone? Did you change your initial ratings? Was another group member able to persuade you to consider other aspects of the characters or the story? And how difficult was it to change? Were there characters you felt so strongly about that you could not change your rating, and why? We use this story to examine diverse beliefs and values as we try to understand what our own personal beliefs are. It becomes clear that not everyone shares our opinions or values and the rules that we live by. When we consider diverse personal beliefs, we need to accept that we instinctively may make a lot of assumptions. We also need to recognize that our values may be in conflict with the values of others, or even in conflict with our own values. Beliefs are what you hold to be true. Values are what you hold to be important, and ethics are rules for conduct. Beliefs are based on how you view the world. I believe if you do your best, you will be successful. Values are based on your beliefs. Being successful is important. And ethics are based on your values and beliefs. You should always do your best. The relationship between beliefs, values, and ethics can be discovered from both directions. If I have an ethic, do not steal, my value might be it's important to value the property of others. And my belief could be I believe in respecting other people's possessions, or what belongs to others is theirs alone. Our collection of beliefs, values, and ethics is what we call a belief system. It is our fundamental idea about how we perceive the world around us. Those are our beliefs. What is important to us? our values, and what we should do, demonstrated by our ethics or the rules by which we live. Our belief system can be stated simply as I believe, it's important because, therefore I do. People might share the same belief and value but follow a different rule, or they might follow the same rule but have a different belief or value that is motivating them. In this example, I believe children are precious. It's important to provide a safe environment for children to explore. Therefore, I complete regular head counts, I maintain the play space, I repair broken equipment, I remove dangerous materials, and I provide developmentally appropriate equipment. In this example, I am independent is a different belief. It is important to be financially self-supporting, also a different value. Therefore, I complete regular head counts, maintain the play space, repair broken equipment, remove dangerous materials. I have similar rules to live by, or the ethics, but they are motivated by a different belief and value. It is one about protecting me. I want to keep my job, so I keep children safe. In this third example, I have a different belief, but my value is the same, and although some ethics are the same, there are also some different ones. These ones support children's ability to develop their independence and risk-taking. I believe we need to encourage independence in children. The value, it's important to provide a safe environment for children to explore. Therefore, maintain a play space, repair broken equipment, remove dangerous materials, but I've also included allow for risky play and teach children to look after equipment. I encourage you to continue exploring your own belief system and identify how your actions represent what you say you believe and value. We are all different due to the life experiences we have had and based on the world in which we were brought up and currently live. Remember those contextual factors that influence us? Identity and how society or community views us, where you grew up, and where you live now. It includes the traditions you follow as well as the stereotypes that others may have of you, the size of your family, the expectations from family, your experiences with education. Was there a significant influence in school, whether it was positive or negative? And did you experience a life event that wouldn't typically be expected to happen? It could have been something tragic or overwhelming. We understand the characters in the Abigail story better when we think about the contextual factors in their lives. Workshop participants created backstories for each character, and using contextual factors helped us understand what they did and why, all coming from a positive place. Participants may have developed a different understanding or changed their opinions and beliefs about the characters depending on that backstory. You may have been able to relate differently to their decisions because of the additional information that you were given. There are many different perspectives on an issue depending on an individual's beliefs and values. It's important to understand and respect the perspective of others. And remember, we may have personal values in conflict in a situation, and there may be many right answers depending on your values. When we think about people who have or are living their belief system, many people will immediately think of people in the global community like Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela. There are many people both in our local and broader community who have demonstrated their belief systems. Laura Secord is known for walking 18 hours to warn of an impending attack by the Americans. Chief Peguis, who was abandoned by his mother and adopted, was a newcomer to the Red River Valley and searched for peace and stability. Louis Riel, hero or traitor, a Métis rebel who championed rights of minorities. Nellie McClung, a Manitoba novelist who is known for advocating women's rights, most notably the right to vote. Tom Lamb is remembered as one of the greatest aviation pioneers, dedicated his life to flying northern rescue missions and supply drops. James Wordsworth, nicknamed the Conscience of Canada, worked tirelessly to create a fairer society, and he laid the groundwork for unemployment insurance, Medicare, and old age pension in Canada. And Viola Desmond, who challenged racial segregation in Nova Scotia. You may or may not have recognized these historic figures who demonstrated their beliefs by their actions. There are many more: Reverend Ledowski, Hannah Taylor, Bill Gates, Dr. Greta Brown. Although some of these individuals may incite differences of opinion, or you may or may not agree with their beliefs or actions, remember that it is personal to you. Who do you recognize as demonstrating what is important to them? When we espouse our belief system, it is what we say we are going to do, but we may not follow through with action. When we live our belief system, it shows up in what we think, what we feel, and what we do. We shared the Woolley Master's poem, Our Reality. It demonstrates how our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions are all intertwined to create our reality. We can make a conscious decision to investigate assumptions and search for clarification before determining what is true. The belief system may seem complicated when we're trying to identify and put into words what a belief is or what a value is. Beliefs, values, and ethics are often so ingrained in us that we don't realize what they are. Think about the rules that are in place in your life. Consider what beliefs and values underlie these rules and what actions result from them. Pay attention to the language you use and your motivation for those rules or ethics. Discovering what is important to you and thinking about why it is so important can help you uncover your belief. Thank you for spending time with me reviewing Session 1 of the Best Choices Ethical Journey. I invite you to register for an ethics workshop, borrow the ethics bin full of provocative games about beliefs and values to play during a staff meeting, initiate a discussion with colleagues using one of our online vignettes or an article from Bridges. Remember, this is your personal journey, and it has no ending.